Hey everybody, how you doing? You have just tuned in to Real Laughs on 104.1. It is Thursday. That's right, it's the 20th of August. And joined in studio with me, virtual that is, it is a conglomerate of comedians. That's right, a cornucopia of comedy in this piece tonight. We have Mike Hurley as always. Mike, how you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling good. It's a good energy over here today. Nobody's been in my parking lot today. Life is good. Rather, I'm sorry. No suspicious activity to speak of.
Well, when you told me what happened yesterday, I got a little antsy, and I was actually there today, but you didn't see me. But anyway, also joining me, the guy that helped start all this real life stuff, it is 2016 Monster Comedian of the Year, my partner in crime, Mr. Miguel Colon Jr.
What up, man? I cruised in Mike's neighborhood, sat in that cul-de-sac waiting for that guy to come back because I was going to kick his ass. But then I got bored and I was like, this is actually a good place to do this.
I'm not saying it's not terrific scenery, dude. I mean, I got a little retention pond.
Yeah.
It's beautiful skies. It's like I can't fault, but that's why I pay rent so I can do that here.
What if I kicked in on like a bill? It'd be okay?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Cover Spectrum for the time that they're actually working, you know?
Got it. Oh, here's my $5. There you go.
Yeah.
Also joining us
is probably why he was there. He's like, internet.
Hey,
never thought of that.
Hey, finally, X-Hamster's not freezing up. This is the spot.
I wonder if that girl ever got unstuck, you know?
I wonder if she had to pay for the pizza.
Yeah. Her stepbrother's a good guy.
Her stepdad is strict. All right, man. Let's not forget, we also joined by a celebrity in his own right, the godfather of Daytona comedy, a brother from another mother. Zach Bennett is in the house.
Yes, I have been performing self-love in my own house like an adult.
Like a man.
like a
Good to be here.
self-love.
Yeah.
I don't know why we call it self-love, because what we do to ourselves, it ain't love.
Oh, for
That
me,
ain't-
it's all love.
Speak for yourself. I like candles. It's nice.
Yeah, it's like, you know, for me, it looks like that scene in Ghost with Patrick Swayze and her just molding the clay.
Oh, my Oh my gosh.
It's weird.
I
It's
still
weird
is
when you're
disturbing.
doing it by yourself versus when like you're with a girl. Because like, I've had moments where you're with a girl, you're like, it's all, you know, it's about romance, it's about love, it's about lust, it's about passion, it's about sex.
Yeah.
And then like when you're doing it by yourself, you're like, I'm gonna watch season 2 of Avatar Korra and fire
Yeah.
it off, not even thinking about that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm able to watch The Last Airbender and run through like the highlights of my sexual history at the same time, and I'm like, man, this is multitasking at its finest. You know,
I feel like there's only
Anybody
so
like
much you can do on your
Yeah.
own that's not creepy. Because eventually it's weird if you're by yourself and you're just like, hey, how are you? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you this much too. When I do it, man, it's like a PowerPoint demonstration. Like I don't have a fantasy. I don't go into and then I'm in this room and then it's just like, remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but remember if it would have? Like,
Am I on a moment of transparency? Am I the only one while I'm doing it? I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat later.
no, sometimes I'm cooking at the same time, Jay. For me, when the grease splatters on it, there's something about that. You know? Like this bacon's a squirter. You know?
oh, that is,
Oh my gosh, that is how you
Where's
start a show,
Katie?
people.
Let me ask you guys this: we're all adults here. We're all grown. Do you have to have? I have to have preferences now to it. Like I could never do it standing up anymore.
Oh,
Like,
I'm not. I can't be athletic when I do it.
I want to be laying down. I need to know no one is in this home. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's gonna get like it. You know, I'm gonna look horrible doing this. Like I already look horrible having sex. Imagine
Yeah.
me without a beautiful partner to join me. Just me laying there like a walrus.
Miguel's like a vampire. How come there's no mirrors in your house? Oh, well. Are you a child of the night? No, I just have several bad angles.
Exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you, Miguel. At this point, I'm 44. I need to stretch and I need a banana. Like I will.
And the
My wife-
banana has two uses.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. My wife thought she
what
saw
you
me
know
with it.
about
She's like,
peels?
"What?" She's like, "What you gonna do with that banana?" I'm like, "No, it's for potassium. I'm peeling it.
Yeah.
No, I'm eating this."
I got to put a mouth guard in. Just like, ugh.
Halfway
Ugh.
through, I put on a CPAP. I got to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best one, man. Oh, that's the best one. It gets the right amount. I put one on me and one on my guy. You know, so he can do the two. You know, he looks like the leader of Jabba's band. You know. And
He's also blue.
Yeah, and I got no more distance on my stuff. I don't have to worry where it goes.
Oh my god!
It's just lava now.
So funny.
So, quick question: Did the FCC just go down with COVID? Are we allowed to do everything?
I don't know if you saw Instagram lately.
It's
no
the Wild
law.
Wild West.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no law, man.
There's
The
nothing.
FCC, we found out the FCC's been dead for 20 years. Like, we've just been telling rumors about it.
You know,
The FCC hasn't been around since 1987.
Yeah.
Did you know that television didn't have 7 words you can't say on TV until George Carlin wrote the bit 7 words you can't say on TV?
Wow.
And then FCC execs were like, "Oh yeah, this is what we're using from here on out." So
That's
George
cool.
George Carlin created it for us. I mean, yeah, there were things that would get bleeped, but he basically added words that they were like, "Yeah, we never said you can't say that, but now that everybody assumes you can't, let's go with it."
Him and Two Live Crew are the 2 artists that that basically solidified the right to free speech in public spaces. Two Live Crew was going to get shut down in Miami.
Banned
What I
in
used to
USA
love-
by Two
Carlin in
Live
New York.
Crew.
What I used to love about Two Live Crew songs on the radio, more than 3/4 of the song was just bleeping. It was like,
Yeah.
And
Hey, we
Doo-doo
want
Brown.
you know, for all the haters out there who said 2 Live Crew should have been banned, picture this: how many years later we would not have WAP? I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-mm.
So thank God for small miracles.
I tell you this:
I
did you
will
ever watch?
say- Go ahead.
Did you
Go
ever
ahead,
watch
Bill.
any of the congressional hearings with the different artists coming in the 80s? I watched them years afterwards.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you see them, and the best part was that artists stuck together, and they were expecting, because John Denver came in there, and they were expecting John Denver to try to be the voice of reason, like some music is wrong. And John Denver came in there reading to Congress. He said, "You could take the lyrics to Rocky Mountain High and tell me that that's about smoking weed in the mountains." He's like, "But when I wrote that song, it was about the natural high you felt of being in the Rocky Mountains." He's like, "So all lyrics are subjective, even if they seem to be totally about one thing." And then
Wow.
D. Snyder came in there talking about, he's like, how he's never done any drugs or got drunk or anything like that before. And people say his music's about partying. And then it was the night that Congress realized music was going to stick together. And
That's
Two
right.
Live Crew were artists.
Well,
Also,
I want to
there's
ask
no
you guys.
constitutional ground for that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. While we're still on music right now, there's a birthday that I wanted to mention because I think this guy is from a band. And this happens to a lot of bands where they're so big, they're so popular, but years later, nobody wants to admit that they were fans of that band because it's not cool anymore. It's Fred Durst's birthday. Of course, he's the front man for Limp Bizkit. Now, there's a lot of people like, I was never a fan. They sold millions.
Everybody was a fan of break
And-
stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody was a fan of
Chocolate
break stuff.
favorite.
And Nookie.
Chocolate
Yeah, man.
flavored starfish, hot dog
And
flavored
hot water.
water.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
And
I'm
I-
sorry, dude. I'm still at that age when I see someone wearing a red ball cap backwards in public. I'm like, "What's up, Fred?"
Yeah. He's like, hey.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved Wes Borland, man, on guitar.
Yes.
I was like,
Absolutely,
Wes
man.
was a beast, man.
That was
And
back when I was still a Guitar Act comic, and one of my parodies was I did it all for a cookie, and I did it in Cookie Monster's voice, and it was a
Yeah.
knockoff of I did it all for the Nookie.
Nice.
Oh yeah, they loved it. They loved it, and by
and
they
there's
I
a-
mean my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
I
a
think
couple
I
other
opened,
bands.
I opened
Go
for the
ahead.
guy that took your. I opened for the guy that took your act. I think recently. I
Oh,
forget
really?
his name, but
There's
he is
several
out
of
there.
them there's several of them in Orlando. You're gonna have to be more
Yes,
specific.
Stop. See? Okay.
Yeah,
There's a couple of other bands that come to mind that people used to love. They were really popular, but no one admits it anymore. Ace of Base. Remember that? I saw the
Oh,
sign.
yes.
They're
Saw the sign.
Nazis.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
Nazis.
Mike knows. Mike knows,
Right,
dude.
back me up here. You're the music,
Yeah.
right? Full
Mike's like,
on.
I was at the meetings.
the
The
lead
bassist
singer,
for Ace of the
the
bassist for Ace of Base is the
the
guy
ba-
that wrote the lyrics.
and he
is the
wrote a
bassist.
whole bunch
Yeah.
of Nazi propaganda songs before
Wow.
joining Ace of Base, like straight up.
Before.
No. Hold on. He worked them into Ace of Base, though. He wrote songs and he changed the lyrics around from his other stuff.
And where are they from? They're Swedish, or where are they?
Yeah. I think
right.
I think you're right.
Oh,
that's definitely Norwegian, right?
Yeah, they're like in that area. That's crazy.
Two other bands that people don't want to admit they were ever fans of: Milli Vanilli.
They were in the Westboro Baptist Church.
I was in fans of Milli Vanilli, but I do enjoy the people who did write and sing the songs.
Mm-hmm. And another. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't want to interrupt.
Go.
I was gonna say the last one, the most famous one. I think nowadays we all like to make fun of this band is Nickelback. People claim they never liked Nickelback, but these guys went 3 platinum. Somebody bought them.
Everybody rode around in a car and that Spider-Man Hero song came on, and you were with your friends. You're like, "This is so whack," and your friends got out of the car. You're like, "The hero!"
Or you're just going through your high school yearbook. Look at this photograph.
Oh, dude, I liked what was it? Vitamin C. I remember. I'd be rocking in the car.
Or what's that one band that everybody used to love to make fun of? Was it Savage Garden?
Yeah. Cherry Cola.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I wanna bathe with you. Come on, man. That was prom. Come on, man.
How about
what I love is every class that closed out with our school song is "We Were Only Freshmen." I'm like, the girl has an abortion in that, right?
Yeah.
That's why she stays popular.
Yeah. Lightning crashes is not what you think it's about, my friend.
Let's be honest. In a lot of schools in Florida, appropriate.
Yeah,
very.
You know what I hated, though, in my high school? The 2 years before me got cool Boys to Men graduation songs like End of the Road. It's so hard to say songs that 20 years later, you'll still hear on the radio and be like, yeah, man, I remember my class. My senior year, the senior class board or whatever, student council, decide to write their own song, and like it goes like with football games and pep rallies. I'm never gonna hear that 104.1 the 90s FM. It's the worst thing you could have done, man. The worst thing.
Who was in charge of your school, Mike?
The bassist,
Ace of Base.
Cheerleading and football and rallies to remember that there is one bass that is superior to everyone.
Yeah, and this is before digital audio, so unless they actually have a cassette tape, What was it, Maxwell, where the guy was sitting in the recliner?
Back.
Just ruining my childhood, man. Not as much as 2020 seniors got ripped, but I got ripped pretty well.
Ours was a time of your life. I don't know why they chose that. And I was like, this song's about his mom having cancer.
Right, on face value.
That just proves people only listen to the chorus of pop songs.
But I will say, at least it was Green Day. That's pretty cool. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, but it's also Green Day from '97. Like, I graduated in 2003. Like, pick a song that's like reminiscent of the time. Like, what are you doing? Like,
bite my lip and close my eyes.
That song's about what the guy in Mike's driveway.
That's Disney too, right? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, his is more along the lines of has lost its fun, and you're.
Mike sang it to him. I hope you had the time of your life.
He's like, wake me up.
I do play that. I do a decent cover of that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, don't go anywhere. When we get back on Real Labs, we're gonna have more hilarity. But I want to quickly remind everybody, you can go download all our past episodes on the iHeart app, and you can always follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And now you can see us on YouTube. That's right. You can see all these lovely faces and put them with the voices you always love. Don't go anywhere right now. We'll be right back for more Real Labs on 104.1 Real Radio.
Hey guys, welcome back. You are still listening to Real Labs. My name is Mike Hurley. Ken Miller is not with us tonight, unfortunately, so we're all kind of taking a shift filling in for him. I'm joined in virtual studio with Miguel Colon Jr., Mr. James Yan, and Mr. Zach Bennett. Now, guys, this is a story that I just found out about through Ken Miller, as a matter of fact. We always try to set up our show and pick some topics. And when Ken sent me over this topic, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And then he said it happened in Florida. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that happening. Basically, South Carolina man obsessed with WWE star Sonya Deville. Do you guys still follow WWE? Do you know who Sonya is?
I don't.
I know who it is only because through my son who loves it, Noah. So,
okay. So Sonya Deville, beautiful lady. She's on the Total Diva show. She's also known as the first openly gay female professional wrestler on the WWE circuit.
Yeah, the rest of them were on the down low.
Yeah. So a South Carolina man was arrested Sunday after he drove from South Carolina to Florida and broke into her home armed with a knife, plastic zip ties, duct tape, and mace, authorities said. Philip A. Thomas II, 24, had been planning for 8 months to take the victims hostage, according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Now, this isn't scary enough. The guy sat outside her house for 4 hours listening to what was going on inside before he decided to break in and attempt to take her hostage. Now, fortunately, the alarms went off on the house. She was in there with a guest, and they were able to flee the residence and call the police. The police found this guy still in the house with his whole abduction bad things kit. How stupid do you have to be to break in, set off alarms, and still be sitting there? Yeah, James.
Well, Mike, that's why I'm laughing when you said that, because you said this genius planned for 8 months. What goes into planning it for 8 months? Like, I want to go to his house and see the board. He had a vision board. It was like, go to her house.
Let me stop you right there. Zach has been doing comedy for 10 years, and now he's making posters. Plans change. Things don't work out. You can prepare all you want, but sometimes you end up making posters. That's how.
Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. I'll be back to comedy, and it's gonna be so much fun. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna yell and upset all the white people, and you all can win them back. It'll be fun.
When I saw Zach was making posters, I was like, oh, I hope he wins student council. You know?
Dude, wouldn't it be cool if you could do those student council middle school races now with what we've learned from politicians with the mics and everything else?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say, if you don't vote for me, that means you like police brutality, and you're racist.
It does have a real middle school vibe, right?
I'd look
like
at
right
a cop
now
in the school and be like, Officer Williams thinks that this is a police state. And I will tell you this. When I become student council president, there will be chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry milks available.
Whoa.
We will have a pencil sharpener on each side of the room, and this fascist pig will be out of here. Thank you, Miranda, for your 6th student council speech.
Are you voting for Miranda? I'm kind of scared not to.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to vote for James because...
Back to this story. I got to admit, it's nice that even during COVID, there is this level of obsession going on. Like, we've read about stories like this with overzealous fans and people that are so obsessed and stalking celebrities, but you would figure the lockdown. I mean, this guy drove from South Carolina, Florida. No one stopped him for a COVID test along the way and just said, what's in that bag there? You know, something like that. But dude, Ken put here as a note, and I'm putting this all on Ken because, number one, I think this is a great question, so I want to give him credit for it. But number two, how sick is this guy that we work with every week? If you had to kidnap one celebrity, who would it be? And James, wasting no time with his hand in the air. Like this is Double Jeopardy round 3. What's going on?
We've been planning for 4 months.
As a black man, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that this brother needs help. We need to have an intervention right now. This man is definitely been on something, a substance, and he's been abusing it, and he just needs us to help him because it's hard to get off stuff.
We can't get the president.
No, not him. Not him.
Okay.
No. I'm talking about brother Kanye West. Brother Kanye.
The next president of the United States of America.
I was going to say Kanye also. No lie.
Yes. Bro,
Really?
there is something that happens when a man subjects himself to using Kardashian, whatever you call it. Yes, I believe that is a drug that makes all black men go crazy. Lamar turned to crack cocaine, man.
Yeah, but it saved his marriage. Lamar Odom was the first guy who used crack cocaine and hookers to save his marriage.
On social media, there was heroes before him. But I'm just gonna say this, man.
So you want to kidnap for more along the lines of an intervention, deprogramming type situation? Is that what you're saying?
It makes him go crazy, man. I'm telling you. I've said it. I said it once, say it again. Never trust a big butt and a smile.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. You go to kidnap Kanye, you get through all the security, you open the door. He's standing in the doorway in a spacesuit, and he's be like, "Where have you been? We gotta go." You're like,
I just imagine Kanye somewhere in a corner of one of the houses, the mansion, just going, so amazing, so amazing.
But we can't leave, James. We can never leave.
Leave.
You're with me now. On the bear suit.
All right. So James and Miguel are tag teaming on taking out Kanye. Zach,
has to be done.
He's gonna need Miguel's help.
you got one chance. You're kidnapping celebrity. Maybe you didn't plan 8 months to have it all go horribly wrong, like our buddy in Tampa here. Who are you taking?
Oh man, look, I know it's gonna seem like some cliche thing to say, but dude, the president, like, it's totally hypothetical.
Thanks for getting the CIA, the FBI, and the Secret Service to tune into our show.
Yeah, weren't you the one worried about the FCC last segment, and now you're just out there going, "Oh, we can do this, right?"
Yeah, FCC's nothing against the State Department, buddy.
Yeah, they're just the NSA now. It's fine.
Yeah.
What would you tell them, Zach?
I would take him and be like, "There's nothing I can say or do to or for you. All I can do is keep you in this closet for the next 4 months."
I would make I would make him watch Home Alone 2 over and over and be like, I need that man back.
Yeah.
I need that man back.
Just the little tiny clip over and over again.
I think mine is going to have to be Tyler Perry. I think I'm going to kidnap Tyler Perry, and he's going to be like, "What do you want with me?" I'm like, "That's the great thing, Tyler. Nothing. Just I know while you're in my garage, you can't make another movie."
Great.
Wow. Mike went on record.
Yeah,
Mike went on record. Black Lives Matter.
And Black Lives Matter. All on us now. Thanks,
Done.
Mike went on record. I'm going to kidnap a black man in today.
No. I said Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a black woman sometimes too, James. Okay?
Yeah. That's worse! That's a double minority!
See, James, you only see color while I only see bad writers, directors. But I will tell you, there's a movie that I'm really excited about that I just read is greenlit, and it's a go-ahead. And it's actually, this is how you know I really, really like these actors and like this movie. I hate when people remake a movie that I enjoyed from my childhood. Like they started talking about doing Little Shop of Horrors over again. I'm like, why would you? It's perfect. Yeah. You know, why would you mess with that? They are remaking one of my favorite movies, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Steve Martin, John Candy. And you know, for me to be excited about a possible remake of this, you guys didn't hear about this? This is great.
No.
I'll give Zach. Zach, first guess. Who you think's doing the two leads in the remake?
Good Lord. Okay. No, you're right. I got it. I'm going to say probably something like Seth Rogen and who's the short friend?
The guy,
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah. While I like them, I would never want them to remake a classic.
No, me either.
But good guess. I would watch anything they do, but I don't want them remaking this. James, what you got? Who you think's doing this remake?
I would say I'm just thinking of just who could pull it off. What, a Nathan Lang?
Once again, I like him, but I wouldn't let him remake this film.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta hear who's doing it.
Miguel, you got a shot. Who you thinking?
I'm gonna go wild cards like Kevin Hart and John Mulaney.
Dude, you are 50% there, my friend.
Kevin Hart or John Mulaney?
I'm glad it's not John Mulaney.
Okay.
Kevin Hart and The Rock?
Nope. Because you know, James would buy tickets. James would go to a theater for that movie.
I would go to their houses. I played it for 8 months.
Super excited about this. Kevin Hart, Will Smith.
Okay. I'd like to see them together.
The only way they can mess that up is if they give Will Smith the John Candy character. That's the only way they can mess. Will Smith has to be
straight man.
Has to be the straight man.
45-year-old white dudes are about to lose their minds.
I am a 43-year-old white dude. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one I grew up watching it with my dad, and I will watch this remake. Although there was the movie with Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. called Due Date.
It
was basically Play Trains and Automobiles.
And it was horrible to me, man. I'm not a big Zach Galifianakis on every role. I think he's nailed some roles, and I think that he knows. I think Between the Ferns is a super great show. It's funny, but I'm not instantly the same thing with Patton Oswalt. I know Patton Oswalt is a genius, but all his work isn't genius to me. Sometimes I'm just like, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
King of Queens,
I think he'd probably agree too. You know, he'd probably be like, "Yeah, that was a nice paycheck."
I thought you guys were going to be way excited about this, but James, you seem a little thinking this isn't going to fly.
I love me some Will Smith. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Will Smith.
Did you lose a little respect for him over the whole Jada thing? Is that what it is? Do you feel like he's a little soft now and you can't look at him like the man he was before?
No. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm just gonna say it. The reason he ain't getting divorced from Jada is they got too much business together. It is cheaper to keep her. So I ain't mad at Will. I ain't mad at Will about that.
I also personally feel like their personal life is their business. I think they were fine. I think Will Smith knew about this long before, but I feel like but because it reached that amount
Once
of
the
public
streets
attention,
found out, man, you got to be different.
That's it. They're like, we got to keep some sort of perception that we
it's like the Rolling Stones, like, what do you mean Mick Jagger had sex with the man? What?
You crazy. No, you know what? I'm going to keep an open mind because I'm one of those people. I believe that Will Smith is one of the greatest actors, entertainers, period. And I love I love Kevin Hart. So, so I got to keep an open mind because Kevin Hart does a good job. I mean, no matter how much he's out there, no matter how much exposure he may get, he does a good job. I can't say he doesn't, man.
It's just gonna be like Bad Boys on the Road, though. That's one thing that I like about it, and I don't like about it already. But I'm like, I'm gonna feel like this is like Bad Boys because I can only assume the Kevin Hart character is gonna be much like the Martin character in Bad Boys, the silly, goofy, fun, wild dude. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna enjoy it though. I just don't know if I think it's gonna be
if
good
it's going to be
remade.
Great. Is it going to be great like the last one? That's what I keep saying.
This: the Martin character in Bad Boys, he was still a cop, so he was still trying to emulate, tough guy Mike and everything else. Whereas John Candy's character was this openly just kind of naive, like the world, everybody's great, and I trust everybody. But it brings up a good point. Like I said, I thought when I heard they were going to do a remake, the first thing I said was no. But when I saw who they were bringing into, I was like, yeah, maybe that could fly. Do you guys have a movie that's so near and dear to you personally that no matter what you pitch or they pitch, you never want to see it remade because it's just perfect the way it is? Miguel, what you got? We got a minute.
I never want to see him remake Three Amigos. Ever.
No. Yeah. They got it right the first time.
They nailed it.
Absolutely right. Badges, we don't need no. What you got, James?
I've talked about this movie a whole lot, and I just love the whole trilogy. They should never try to redo Back to the Future.
True.
Never try to do it.
And Zach, having been number 2 to only Blockbuster nationwide, a movie guy who went in and took over a poor Vietnamese struggling man's video store. The only money his poor refugee daughter had to look forward to. What movie would you never want to see remade because you feel like they got it right?
Zach's like Pride of a Nation.
You're thinking Birth of a Nation.
I'm thinking the one.
Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, I'm thinking the one from.
Are you playing Ace of Base in the background? What's going on? What you got, Zach?
No, honestly, there's nothing that shouldn't be remade because the world is in a cash grab. Just do it. I want people to remake Star Wars so we can have a real Civil War. Start this thing up. Let's do it.
I want them to remake the last 3 Star Wars just so we can have a decent ending. That's what I want. All right,
you'll
guys.
get it in 10 years.
Right. Well, yeah, I did hear that they're bringing what's-his-face. Well, never mind. That's another segment. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And when we come back, Miguel's going to be running down some of his favorite movie soundtracks. So stay tuned right here on Real Laughs 104.1.
Welcome back to Real Laughs on Real Radio 104.1. I am your host, Miguel Jr., joined in virtual studio with the Godfather of Daytona. I was just going to say, Zach, I'm sorry. Quick. I was thinking in my head, too. Godfather of Daytona is like finding out you're the crime boss of, like, Spokey. Or, like, like, I'm the leader of the crime family in Gary, Indiana. I
always say, just don't OD and you can be me.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant, sir.
I'm giving us all titles, Zach. You're the Godfather of Daytona. I am the I'm the consigliere of Golden Corrals.
I'm the Duke of Diabetes.
Duke of Diabetes.
No, I can't.
Guys, on the last segment, we were talking about movies we never wanted to have remade. I think another one I want to add in there is the Zapruder film. Like, I don't want them to touch it up. and just be like, oh man, they add color to it. You're like, this is harder to watch now.
I thought you meant like a real life remake. I thought you meant like happening now. I'm like, yeah, don't bring that up. That's how you get the CIA watching the show. We need a Zapruder film remake in real life.
Yeah, I want it done, but an all black cast. What? That's wrong now? That's wrong.
Now he's like now.
Oh, I get it. It's okay when Hamilton wants to cast all one way, but I can't. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I'll get my one shot.
Do you? It was three,
Wow.
Mike.
It was wow.
It's actually 6 from 7 different people. So let's get it
That's right. Conspiracy Zach. Yeah. He's like, no, I read about it on a long thread.
That I contribute
YouTube
to.
2007, dude.
Well, hey, let me ask you, James. Let me ask you, as a fellow person of color, what movie would you never want them to remake with I can think of movies I would never want them to remake with like a Latino cast, like that. I just was like, like I don't want an all Latino Flintstones. I want the Flintstones. No, I'm gonna tell you the truth, because I want the Flintstones to be whatever. Because I don't want to get hung up on a racial thing with the Flintstones. I know that they were all white, and I never noticed it when I was a kid because I was just rocking to it. But I think that I don't want them to ever use a show like the Flintstones to make like a racial argument or cartoon. I just put them. Everybody can be everything. It's cavemen. They can all be dark and hairy. They can be light and hairy. They can be whatever. But is there a movie that you think like, oh man, or you wouldn't want them to make, or is there a movie you'd like them to redo with an all white cast? Zach, is there a movie that has an all black, Spanish, Asian, or anything cast that you would like to interject and see redone with a white cast? Not for any racial reason, just because you'd like to see it redone.
Perspective,
Perspective, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I want to see every movie with a white cast get remade with anyone not white just to watch white people get upset. That's one of my favorite pastimes. So
Zach,
whatever
Zach, let me tell you this. Once you stop wanting to make the world burn, you won't have to make posters anymore. You know?
Well, can I clarify? They're just posters. I'm not making them. They're already made. They're just movie
Zach,
posters.
I don't believe that. I believe you were at Hobby
It's right
Lobby.
here. It's just posters.
That's wrapping paper.
Actually, I know Zach's taste. He likes Tarantino films. Like, could you imagine Reservoir Dogs all black?
It would have less. It would have the N-word less. Yeah.
Well, probably more actually. Just soft A.
Yeah.
Soft A instead of hard R. That's all.
That's funny, man. That's good. It's very good.
No, I really think it's hilarious that people get bent out of shape about fictional things and what race is attached to it. Like, obviously, I think it is like kind of more of a cash grab political movement sometimes with it. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, did it really affect you? You can't have dinner with your family now. Like, go home, shut up. You don't need. It doesn't matter. Like,
I think what happens is everybody sees like them say, hey, this is a fictional character, or this is a historic character that we don't really know too much about, and we could change their race any way we want to tell this story. And people start shaking, and they're gonna make Jesus Spanish. You know it's coming. It's coming. They're gonna first start off with Lionel from the Thundercats. They're gonna make Lionel from the Thundercats Spanish, and we're all gonna think that's cool. And then next thing you know, Jesus from the Middle East ain't gonna be white no more. You know?
Yeah.
I think along that lines, when you're talking about replacing whole casts, and it's gonna sound weird coming straight out and saying it, but yeah, I like to see Roots. I like to see Roots reswitch for this reason.
That'd be great.
For this reason right here. You guys remember A Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey and Samuel Jackson, where Samuel Jackson's daughter was basically little girl walking home, taken, lynched, horrible things done, and Samuel Jackson goes and does what any father would do, takes out the people who did it, right? And then he's on trial for his life. And the closing argument of Matthew McConaughey was like, I want you to close your eyes. Everybody in the courtroom, close your eyes. I'm going to tell you a story. And he tells the story of the little girl walking home and all the terrible things that happened to her. And then he's like, now I want you to imagine she's white. And like the whole courtroom goes, oh, well, that changes everything we were thinking about. And I think there should be a movie, if you're going to remake it, showing like, yeah, look, could you imagine people who you identify with getting treated like this? And maybe now you see why some people can't just let go of things that happened how many years ago. Because once you know that was someone you're related to or your family or you're still paying for it today, it's not as easy as like, yeah, but that was, that was 200 years, that was 40 years, whatever. That's not you. Yeah, it carries with you.
Yeah, when you have the last name, when your last name is the guy who owned your family, it gets a little personal. It's not going to be like, oh, it's fine. Yeah. Like, come on. That's a great idea, though, Mike.
Mike, that's a great idea. I didn't know where you were going with that. I was getting a little nervous.
I saw you guys tense up at the front. And I'm like, no, hear me out.
I just was hoping there was still a role for LeVar Burton in all this. Like, the whole time he was like, and we're going to do a White Roots. And I'm like, Michael, if you don't put LeVar Burton in this picture, I'm pulling funding now.
Mike's like, who do you think is doing the whipping now?
Yeah. I think they should. If you redid Roots, you should still make it white people that are doing all the whipping and stuff, so that white people can't be like getting mad at the black actors. They're just like, well, this is ridiculous. Like,
I would cast LeVar, but I would still make him read for it just so he didn't get too cocky.
Yeah,
the only problem.
I'd make him read for Geordie LaForge glasses just for my own personal gain.
The only problem with doing it with all white people is they'd be like, see, it did happen to the Irish more. And you'd be like,
I love the Irish slave argument because I do understand there were Irish indentured servants brought over. And let's be real.
Different.
Most people who were immigrants, Irish, have a deep history of being treated very horribly. I don't think we should ever BS about that. But look at the Irish skin and tell me they were the people stolen to work the hot fields of South Carolina. Mm-hmm. The Irish can't last 45 minutes in line at Disney, but you think they were going to be the
spontaneous combustion?
Yeah. Have you guys ever noticed that? And Mike, I don't know if you worked at a theme park. I know, James, you've worked at theme parks. You could always spot like Europeans by the pink baldness and the just.
Oh my God!
The sweat
and the socks with the open toe sandals. Yeah.
Yes, and the Formula One race car sneakers.
They always have that face, Miguel. You're absolutely right. Where they're just flushed red and they look at you like, "Am I supposed to feel this way?"
No.
It's crazy.
Hey, before the break, though, we were talking about another thing we were going to bring up about movies was. I miss really good movie soundtracks. Like I remember going to record stores to buy soundtracks for movies because they had such dope songs, and it was a big deal. Record companies would put together killer lists for artists.
Yes.
For a soundtrack. You'd have soundtracks sometimes that were way better than the movie. You've had soundtracks that were more memorable than the movie.
Yes.
And you had songs that came from a soundtrack that I bet people now, younger people or people who weren't really into music back then, didn't know came from a soundtrack. And I put together 5 soundtrack songs in no particular order. They're not the greatest, but 5 soundtrack songs that I would agree that I think all of you guys would agree were almost superior to the movie in itself.
I have some honorable mentions too. Go ahead.
All right. First one from the Batman. I believe it was Batman
Forever.
Kilmer. Yeah.
Best soundtrack. Best soundtrack
Batman
ever.
Forever. Great soundtrack. The Riddler song by Method Man. They had Kiss, but Seal. Kiss from Rose.
Seal.
I mean,
it revived his career, dude.
Yeah. People are using that song at a wedding. Nobody's thinking this is Joel Schumacher put this all together with shiny costumes and nipples on the bat suit. People are just like, this is fire. So Kiss by a Rose. This one's going to get people because people are going to say, no way, this movie's greater than this song. But I think historically, the song has held up bigger than the movie. Even though the movie was more influential, Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins is
amazing.
Better than the Top Gun movie.
Yes.
And
side note, Kenny Loggins for a long time was a soundtrack king in the 80s.
Oh my God, he killed it. It's Caddyshack, Footloose, also this first song in Beverly Hills Cop. When he's riding in the cigarette truck.
That's right.
Kenny Loggins killed it. Okay, this movie is great. But once again, the song is superior not because the movie's not good, but the song it's almost one of the most perfect, like, what'd you think of rock song? That's The Power of Love by Huey
Lewis and the News. Yeah.
That song, like, from composition wise, I knew a composer that was like, really listen to The Power of Love. He's like, it's really got a lot going on. And I mean, Back to the Future is a great movie, but that song, man.
And let's not forget Johnny B. Good in that movie was amazing.
Oh yeah, man. But I mean, that was, that was written 50 years ago,
Yeah.
By Marvin Berry.
Well, actually, technically no, because Marvin Berry's helped Chuck find it. But
Chuck, are you listening? This is your cousin Marvin Barry. Yeah. Listen to this. Yeah.
Let me get back to my list. Apologize, because that's just a good song. Okay. Weird entire soundtrack that's way better than the movie. The Nutty Professor soundtrack. I was just listening to it with a girl a couple weeks ago. It's full of slow jams and love songs, and like you can and I have made love to the Nutty Professor soundtrack, but you cannot put the Nutty Professor on and make love.
Speak for yourself, sir. Speak for yourself. Oh, stripper man, I'm about to show you every dirty trick I know. I just finished. Like, that's how I do it.
All right, and then this is another. It was if me and James were talking about it. Or excuse me, we've talked about. There's one song though that is a weird one. So I remember watching A League of Their Own and thinking this is a cool movie. But do you remember the Madonna song?
Yes,
on
I
League
do.
Of Their Own?
Yeah, I do.
It was all about memories. And okay, I wish I could. I can't pull it right now. I don't have my laptop near me, but Google the Madonna song from League of Your Own.
No, it was good.
It was really sad and like sweet. And remember, like this isn't the 5 greatest. These are just 5 that I think were so good. But Google the Madonna song. It's gonna touch your heart, man. It's a heart toucher.
I will say I got a couple honorable mentions. I think will take us back a little bit. The very first one, I just remember listening to the music in this movie, and every song for every scene just seemed to fit well. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah.
That was a good soundtrack, man. It was just, it hit at that right time. I was in my adolescence. I was just, you know what I mean? And it's just one of those movies that you don't forget. Also, the Boomerang soundtrack is pure R&B fire. It's fire. Just pure fire. You can play it from start to finish. And there's a song I just want to mention because it's one of my favorite comedy movies. You mentioned it the other day. And the song from Real Amigos is hysterical. When they're singing that song. Yeah, man. Yes.
Oh, My Little Buttercup?
That one, but the Three Amigos song. We are the Three Amigos. Yeah.
I don't think that ever bumped on the radio, though. I don't think they were ever like, yo, what's that Three Amigo jam? Come on. Number 7. And then there was the remix. Bum, 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 Amigo.
Yes.
What you got, Zach?
I'm going to say, well, obviously, Batman Forever is my favorite.
Great soundtrack.
It's the killer soundtrack, in my opinion. I've had the argument with people, is Almost Famous a better soundtrack than that one? But it's different music, but I would say some ones that people might not know about. Elizabethtown has a great soundtrack.
Do you have a poster? Do you have a poster for it in your room? This guy.
I sold it for a charity. You dick. And then,
this is gonna sound like a cop out. Purple Rain. Because hello. It's basically just
you got me.
You
got me. You got me.
Eye of the Tiger from I did a karate demonstration in 4th grade to that. I felt like a real badass. And then not a lot of people remember this movie. Eddie and the Cruisers. Eddie and the Cruisers. The band, the band that wrote all their Dark Side. Yeah. Yep, the band that wrote all the music was John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, and that whole album is just, I don't know, it's great. It's a little bit before even my time, but it was great. What you got, Zach?
Honorable mention, Grosse Point Blank is a killer soundtrack. That movie, great movie, great soundtrack.
5 Heartbeats. 5 Heartbeats.
That's a good one too, man.
That's a great soundtrack. Yeah.
Once again, Zapruder film with sound. All right, guys. We got to wrap this one up, man. But on behalf of myself, Mike Hurley, James Yon, and of course Zach Bennett, I want to thank you guys. As always, our episodes are available on iTunes, iHeartRadio app, Spotify,
and be sure to check out Miguel at Margaritaville this Friday and Saturday, right?
Nice, Mike. Yes, sir, man. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.